Life can feel like it's moving a mile a minute, but here's the thing. You don't need to make massive changes to get things under control. Sometimes it's the small, everyday adjustments that have the biggest impact. So, if you're ready to make a shift, here are 10 simple tips to get you started. First off, let's talk about if you rely on daily medication, most insurance companies and pharmacies allow refills 3 to 5 days early, which lets you build a stockpile for emergencies over time. Just to add a bit of detail, this isn't sketchy or breaking any rules. Pharmacies and insurance providers generally expect people to refill a few days early to avoid gaps. Over time, this adds up to a solid backup supply. This can be especially important if you live in an area prone to hurricanes, wildfires, or supply disruption or travel, or rely on others for pickup. If you're unsure how early your plan allows, just ask your pharmacy or check your insurance portal. Most will tell you the exact number of days in advance they allow. Some even have automatic refill programs that do this for you. Sorry to have been USA-centric and not think of you folks abroad. This advice is based on experiences with US pharmacy and insurance systems. Refill policies may vary by provider, state, or country, so this won't apply to everyone. It is just something that's helped me and a few others I know when this situation is applicable. Next, designate spaces and things to prevent distraction and help with association. I learned this during my college days and especially during lockdown 2020-21. Designate certain spaces to only be for certain things whenever possible. I lived in a studio for a while, and I never studied in bed or watched TV there. The bed was only for sleeping, and otherwise I'd get sleepy while studying, or stay awake thinking of school instead of drifting off to sleep. The moment I'm in bed, it's BC, I'm going to sleep. If separate spaces isn't an option for you, there are still solutions. When working from home started, I had to have my desk in my room, lived with dad and sister, and hated it. The bed was mere feet away, and it was easy to just flop onto bed instead of working. So because I couldn't change the space, I added things like, I only wear this perfume when I'm working. I always listen to this playlist when I'm working. Lunchtime doesn't change on work days. I even gave myself a commute by immediately taking a 30-minute walk to mimic my drive home. My bedroom was multi-purpose, but other things weren't. When I moved into a hybrid schedule that needs shifted a little, but now that I own a 2-story and live alone, I never go upstairs unless I'm working in my office, where all I ever do there is work and nothing else. I leave it the moment I'm done working, getting dressed, or going to bed. Every space has a designated task, and it helps separate my brain via associations so I can shift from task to task relatively easily. I'm asleep in less than 8 minutes BC. My room isn't where I go to hang out. I know that's not always possible if you don't live alone, so designating and associating other controllables can help here. Third, garlic smell washes off with alcohol. You know how your fingers smell like garlic after handling garlic? The smell will wash off with alcohol. Hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol, or even vodka will do. Either pour alcohol on your hands, rub and rinse off immediately, or wash in a bowl with a little alcohol in it. Then, the fourth advice is that when canceling an online service, ensure all devices are signed out to stop accidental reactivation, especially by children. My child accessed their Netflix profile, child profile, all other profiles pin protected, and just clicked the yes button. I doubt he even knew what it was. If you are canceling Netflix, or really any service, ensure everyone is signed out, which a lot of services offer, but might need a manual approach. When I complained to Netflix about the fact that a child's profile can do this, they said I should have changed the password. So yeah, they don't care, and it's absolutely intentional. Halfway there, use local news to figure out how town names are pronounced. If you're not sure how to pronounce a town's name, look up Town Local News on YouTube, and the news anchors will demonstrate how to say it correctly. Gotta be the local news stations and affiliates, though. If it's national news, all bets are off. Reports about minor car crashes and obscure zoning disputes are guaranteed to be local. The local anchors know they'll get made fun of by natives if they get pronunciations wrong. This especially applies in America, where locals love to come up with inventive pronunciations of names that were originally Native American, French, or Spanish. If you've just moved to a new place and need to learn all the local towns, or are interviewing for a job somewhere you don't live, this trick will work. At number 6, baby powder works better than dry shampoo and costs way less. Skip the overpriced dry shampoos. Baby powder is a game changer. It absorbs oil, adds volume, and leaves your hair feeling fresh without buildup. Plus, it's super cheap and lasts forever. I've saved so much money and my hair looks way better. Just sprinkle a little on your roots, rub it in, and go. 7th, use PowerPoint to keep your screen from locking. Have a policy which locks your computer or logs you out every 5 minutes or worse. Open PowerPoint, any presentation will do, and start the presentation. Tab out and continue your work. On a Microsoft OS, your computer won't time out, ever. Also, if you hit the B key, it sets your screen to black. Sorry, cybersecurity folks, had to share this one. Also, don't do this and leave your computer. That's probably unethical and/or violates a code of conduct. I use this one because I'm constantly interrupted while working and have long conversations with folks while sitting at my desk, and for whatever reason, my Wi-Fi drops if the screen locks. Number 8 is about hitting up grocery stores the day after major holidays to save some cash. Without a doubt, the days that have the most discounted perishable items are the days after major holidays. If your local grocer has areas in the produce, meat, bakery, etc. where they put reduced items, check them out. You can oftentimes find things that were only ordered in for the holidays and/or find items that have a short shelf life that they made before the holiday but have reached their sell-by date. You can freeze most of it and reuse it later. The place I shop at had a pile of meat in their reduced area for nearly half off. So if your local grocer is closed on major holidays, pop in the day after and give it a look. Second to last, have an interview coming up where you have to record your answers. Download a teleprompter app for your phone to conduct the interview. Some job interview processes have these interviews where you have to record yourself answering questions, and you'll usually get 3 attempts to record for each question or something of that sort. HireVue is a popular platform that companies will use sometimes for this format. These interviews can be nerve-wracking, even more so than live face-to-face interviews. I personally think they're unfair, because on top of the pressure of interviewing, you're being timed and have to answer to a screen, so it can be awkward. What I did to fix this was I downloaded a teleprompter app on my phone. They have free ones that are both on iPhones and Android devices. Just look up teleprompter in your respective app store and download the one that gets the best reviews. Then, go through whatever steps you need to take to enable it to work to float atop of whatever app you're in. For HireVue, it'll be ran via Chrome. The first attempt you record will be your throwaway attempt. Use that time to learn what the question is, figure out how you want to answer, and put that into your teleprompter app. Then, when you've got your answer, start to record your second attempt using the teleprompter. Your recording will look natural, and you'll look like you're actually looking at the camera. And it'll give you peace of mind when answering these questions. And finally, you can beat your self-doubt by acknowledging it. Self-doubt is the most loving part of you. We oftentimes tend to show self-doubt in negative light, which I agree. It prohibits you from achieving anything and stagnated you. But instead of demonizing it, I would like to compare it with an overprotective parent. A parent who don't want bad for their child, who don't want to see him suffering. That's why they protect the child from anything, because they are too caring to let him go. Similar with self-doubt, it maybe know how hurt you will be if you fail. It has seen you cry. It has seen the vulnerable side of you. It has seen you when you were outgoing and risk-taking. It has seen everything, and maybe that's why it has started to protect yourself being the most loving part of you, because it don't want to see you hurt. The intention is so innocent, so demonizing it is not worth it. Maybe it just wants assurance that you will survive if you fail, that you will survive even if you lose everything. And once you start to prove yourself in small ways, it starts to become quieter until it realizes its job is done. Now you no longer need it, and it leaves you finally. I know this won't be easy, but you have to do it slowly, lovingly, and gently, because your self-doubt is also a part of you.